Hi everybody, I thought I'd do a video. I've been watching a couple of YouTube videos, some current ones I just subscribed to, and one in particular, I don't know the name, YouTube ID offhand, but she actually had a really good YouTube video, and it's about paranormal. And for most of my friends know, I'm a big paranormal fanatic. I have books. I did a lot of research. I always wanted to go into a paranormal investigation. I know someone else is kind of into the same thing, so she's a fellow Mark rep. So not only are we friends through Mark, but we also friends from paranormal. And my mom, at first, my mom used to think that was kind of weird, but then it's it's that she was just that's my love of books, and she actually loves it too. So hey, it's the same thing. So what I had to say, it's not a this is not a paranormal tag. It's just a one of my random day videos. I really wasn't going to do one because I had a crappy night, and yeah, I was trying to you know make the best out of it today. Got some things I got to do for before the weekend, because I wanted the weekend to actually take maybe one day of just not doing anything really. So um she was talking about her in the video in the YouTube subscribers channel. She was talking about her paranormal experiences, and like with a ghost baby, she's seen ghost dogs, and like her experience when they went into the cemeteries. And most people know, like, usually time a common place of paranormal activity is a cemetery and really extremely old house. When I'm talking about an old house, it's usually like 18th century, well, not 18th century, early 1800s, maybe 1700s, depends on how long it's been out. Really old historical homes, yes. Like um some places that got turned into like a event thing, like the Lit Mansion and Lizzie Borden House and the Myrtle Plantation. Now, those places have been known for really high activity of paranormal activity, as well, because with guests and stuff, and there's so many other places. I researched, and I read a book about paranormal things. I read a book about people sitting there talking about their paranormal experiences, and like there was a one lady story that really got to me, and I don't know, and I think that's why I remember it. And she was like, she was home alone, and she was just, just she was in the kitchen at first, but then she went to the living room. I think she forgot something in the kitchen. I mean, I don't remember this. I don't remember this story verbatim, but I do remember certain things. And as she was about to go into the kitchen again, I think it was like a burst of red light and stuff that prevented her from going. And what she didn't really know until afterwards, that the spirit was trying to save her life, because if she had went into that kitchen, she would have died, because there was somebody that was trying to break in. I don't know if they weren't, obviously they wasn't successful, because she was still alive. She was alive to actually tell the tale, but something that got where he couldn't break in. But if she had went in there, she probably would have got attacked and died. But the spirit protected her. Okay, the um the spirit protected her, and it saved their life. So I would say that there are some spirits out here that is actually, protective, and then you have to watch out for spirits that are hold on. Um there are really bad spirits, and they will hurt you and harm you. And it, so I say some of the stuff in the movies, like, it's true. Like the Amityville horror that was based on a true story, and who's some other stuff. I would say that Rose Red. I that rumors having that was actually true. That place was haunted, but I think that's been demolished. But you have to think about that because that place like that was built on an Indian burial ground. So, but I would say I believe my story was kind of an experience. I don't think it was a high end paranormal experience, but um, this was in 2004, December 2004. Just lost my granddad, who I used to share birthday with. So birthdays are never the same, and it's just always feel different. And we had just came back. Can't tell you the place. From out of town from his funeral, me and my mom, and like I think it was a week or two. I think it was a week or two. It was like right after. I wouldn't think it wasn't that far that long from it after he died because I was like I think I think during that same time I had the dream about like we were at the funeral and I they I everything was just exactly like it was at the funeral home and he was laying in his casket and all of a sudden it just like he shrunk in the dream. This is the dream now. This is not the actual thing that happened. It was like he shrunk in the dream and then it was like I don't know, it was like a comedy thing or the thing. There was some people that were laughing and everything, and I was just like completely freaking out. But I think that it really affected me a lot when he died because we didn't get a chance to see him before he passed. We were on our way. That we were going the next day, which we should have went that night, but they were like, well, you know, he, you know, they made it to seem like I guess it was like he was still gonna be around that thing, but we didn't know. So we were like, our determination was to get up really early that morning. I had already packed when my mom was like, I'm going, and I'm like, I'm going with you, and she was like, no, I don't think that. I'm like, but I want to go. It's my granddad. He's my birthday buddy. I had to go. I just felt like right there in my heart that I had to be there. But we didn't get a chance to go and see him before he passed. But we got to go there. We got to go up there for the funeral, around the funeral. So it was just, I think during that time that we were there, the few days that we were there, it was just when we went to my aunt's house, which the place he originally stayed, and I just felt just a weird. It wasn't like a weird sensation. It was just odd. Like he was there, and like it was a little. It was comfortable understanding, there, but it was just it wasn't really his last place of him staying there. It was so it wasn't that awkward. So it was like it felt comfortable there because that's where he used to be at. So it was like I could tolerate it. So it was like yeah. So it it was just like a sense of comfort, to know that he was there and to know that you know that was one of the places that he stayed, but he actually stayed with my cousin up to his death. And we stayed the night there. But that was where I felt the strong feeling there of him definitely being there. And I, that wasn't the funeral. I think we came there of, I think that was the day before when we had the wake. Was it the wake? No, no, no. I think that was no. See, we came one that night. That was like I think it was like a couple of days before the actual funeral. No, 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 no. Yeah, that was the. I think that was because I think we came there a few days extra just because we wanted to be there. So yeah, we stayed at my cousin's house that night, and but for some reason I had a very overwhelming sense being in my granddad's room, And I just told myself that I couldn't sleep that in that room that night. I couldn't do it. I couldn't sleep there. It's just, I don't know. It was just, I guess, seeing him have my graduation picture from high school, seeing him have like just all the pictures of his grandkids and like all of us birthday cards and everything else like that, just had like a sense of, like he was just still there. Like he could have been just sitting there watching us, watch him look at his life that he had. My granddad had a good life. He had a good long life. Um, it was just like, oh wow, just a overwhelming thing. And it just, I mean, it made me miss him more, so I couldn't do it. But anyway, we went, and the next time we went to the wake, it was just, a little overwhelming there. But in the funeral and everything like that, so when we got back home, I just felt like just different. And I guess because it was like my first family funeral. Yeah. A, yeah, it was my first family funeral, so it was like a little tough to deal with. My mom didn't let me see when my great grandma passed, which is his mom. So it was just, you know, like wow. And she died like 5 days after our birthday. It was like, this sucks that right before Christmas it's gonna suck because that's around the time he passed. And then it's like my birthday, and then the 5 days after, those days are just not the same. But anyway, it was like a couple of days after we've been home, and one of the things that happened was I had turned the TV off and I was going to bed. I was tired. I think I had just came from work or something like that. I think because right after that, after I came back from the funeral, applied to work at a coffee shop and got the job. So yeah, um, it was, I think it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden, the TV just came on really loud to watching Law and Order. I don't know if I accidentally hit a button, but I don't think the remote was never near me because when I stayed at home, it was like the bed, and then right next, it was a wall, the bed, and then right next to it was the little small table thing that I had, dresser table thing I had where I had my lamp at, and then I had the house phone, and then where my cell phone chargers, and then it was where the remote that I put, because I never sleep with the remote because I was afraid. Well, I never slept with them. Well, so anyway, that happened, but I just tossed it to the side and was just like, okay, just the TV just being weird. But my mom made a joke and said it could have been my granddaddy wanted to watch Law and Order because that's his favorite show. And I think that at the time that it happened was usually around the time that he normally gets up. See, my granddad was early to bed, early to rise, and I mean extremely early to rise person. We talking about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I always thought to do that because in the house there was a lot of people there, and he always wanted to be the first one, and I used to joke about that. But my granddad was always like that, but he was always the first to go to bed, and he was the first one to shower, bath, or shower, whatever. Anyway, the next experience was the same thing. It was like a nighttime. I was going to bed, and I think that was the same time I had that dream about him. All of a sudden, I don't know if I was half asleep, but it just felt too real to say that it really wasn't. So it was like I was sort of in my sleep mode. All of a sudden, I felt like somebody sat on the side. But let me tell you, it wasn't my mom because the the weird thing is, in that when I stayed at home, we had this. My door had this little latch thing, so it was like I can't sleep the door open. It's not They're not me. I can't sleep with the door being open like that. So I had to have the door closed, and the really time that the only door would stay closed was if it was latched. I can't. So yeah, I had the door latched. So it was just me in the room, and it just felt like somebody just sat on the side of the bed and just touched me, and it felt like it was just like a way of a safe, comforting kind of thing. So if so, it was. And then after that, I think I had like really good dreams. So I just felt like that was my granddad being there and then telling me that everything's gonna be okay, and it's gonna be okay. And it's just, and people thought I was weird because I always felt like ever since then it just he's always there, and you know when I think when I think about him the strongest and the most, that's when I feel like that's definitely when he's there. And today's, I guess, this is one of the down days because today is actually the day I think about him, and I just um I think about him and then just wish that he was still around. I miss our joke of happy birthday calls. When it's our birthday, he'll call and say happy birthday, and then I'll call, or I'll say repeat it back and be like happy birthday to him too. And it's just like birthdays are never the same. And then I just felt like there was a reason. I feel like I'm the most connected with him because of it, because he always wanted to have a grandchild to have share the birthday with him, and I felt lucky, and felt like a little bit special that I got to be the one to share it with him. And I didn't like. I guess that's why I feel like I have a paranormal connection to him. I don't know. I could be really weird about it, but some certain things that happens about it, and I think my fascination with the paranormal thing is makes my vibe about certain things and feelings like feel like they real about, especially like when like you get that feeling like you're being watched thing, but not like watched like stalker watch and stuff, but just something like you get a strange vibe when you like be at the house or something like that. I don't think I ever had one really here. I just you know well, maybe the basement, but this is kind of an old apartment building. I think it was a house or something, and they changed it into apartments and stuff like that. So they did a lot of work on it. But I say for the most part, I always felt that I was more in tune with the paranormal things. I always had it like, I guess that's why I'm so fascinated with it. So it don't bother me for certain things that happens, paranormal things that happens. My friends are freaked out, and I'm the only one that be like, okay, well, let's go and check it out more, and they'll be like, are you crazy? So it's one of the things I mean, I don't talk to too many people about, because most people don't really believe me when I say stuff like that. It was just like one day me and my friends was talking about things, and I would just tell them what it was. And I think the other thing that happened to me before, but I mean, I'm not too sure about it, but a possibility. But I was at my friend's house, and we were like laughing and talking and stuff like that. But I always just get this really weird feeling when I'm there at the house, and it's not based on how they act. It's just like, especially like down her hall. It's like when you walk in, you're in her living room. The living room connects to the kind of dining room, and then there's the kitchen over there on the other side. And then you'll go down the hall, the bathrooms first, and then you got the two bedrooms. And one of the bedrooms have another bathroom, a mini bath. Sorry, but when you just like you walking down that little bitty hall, just get that feeling since there's something's there. Like I always get the feeling like she has one room that's supposed to be in the coldest room in there, but we always try to figure out why. But I believe that she does have a little bit of something there, and I think it was a woman, but I can't really be sure for that. But I just mean, but I could say that I really never really thought about it until like after watching the paranormal video channel of that subscribe the channel thing, and just realized that there have been a little bit of a sort of a paranormal thing happen. Like in their house, it was just the lady. She didn't really do nothing. She would just like walk across thing, but it's just not really too much of a haunting thing. So it's just like I don't really like to really discuss some of the things, because most people be like, well, it's just you're only really saying that because of your fascination with paranormal things, which is not true. So it's like, but it's just that things that actually happen. But with my friend's house, I'm not sure, but I do feel like that's something like thing, you know. And I tried to tell them stuff like that about certain things, and they just look at me. It's like you're freaking. Either they're not really saying that I'm freaking them out. They're just saying that I'm just saying that because of my fascination with the paranormal. And maybe that could be true, but I don't think it is. I think it's just uh something is just something, you know. It's just like I always can get a sense of like if like something's just off, and it just always been that way. So it's just like I try not to really, take it in because I feel like most people don't really believe what I have to say. So it's just like it's it's really unexplainable whether or not if it's an actual paranormal experience to me because I feel like I don't have the same experiences like most other people have, but it could be possibly be, I'm not sure, but I just felt like I just have to share this moment because I saw the video and I don't want to be like the thing. So my channel is really about getting to know a little bit about me, getting to know about my mark stuff and just random things that I come up with. So this is one of my days where one of the videos, I might do another one later depending on how I feel, but this was one of the videos I wanted to do because I got inspired by watching um that channel and yeah, I don't really know. I can't remember who it was, so I can't really don't can guarantee. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to share that little bit of info and just to really share it. So it wasn't like nothing really scary has happened. Um I just yeah, part of my hobbies is actually besides the makeup and stuff is actually paranormal things. So it's always been that way. So yeah, but I got some things I gotta do and um I'll talk to you guys later. Um, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm working on doing a giveaway for the 100 subscriber thing, and yeah, I'm gonna do it. So yeah, make sure you comment as many as you can, comment as much as you can. Like I said on each video, you can go back and watch all the videos that led up from the 100 subscriber giveaway all the way up to now. Make sure you comment each one of them. If you can bring people to check out the channel, that's the more the merrier. So I'm going to do because I'm going to add a some little things to for the product thing. So yeah, um. I just, now I'm really thinking about my granddad. So, I'm gonna have to end this video because it wasn't supposed to be this long. But you guys have a good one. Bye.